Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video I am going to customize a Ever After High doll into Little Red Riding Hood. And I thought about this for a while and I wanted to do something autumny, with the autumn feel to it. And also I like old fairy tales a lot. And I don't know why I thought Little Red Riding Hood is a good fit for autumn, but maybe it's her red colors or something. And I knew I didn't want to make this classic Little Red Riding Hood, this little girl. I wanted to make a grown-up version of her. And you can't make Little Red Riding Hood without the wolf. So in this video I'm actually going to make two dolls. One Little Red Riding Hood and one wolf. So I hope you'll enjoy this video. I chose this Ever After High doll Ashlynn Ella for this particular project because I think her sweet face fits well to Little Red Riding Hood. And this time I am going to start with her outfit, and because this is an old German fairy tale written by the Grimm brothers, I wanted her dress to be kind of similar to a traditional German dress, but not exactly, so I am going to do my own twist on it, and I am going to show you the different fabrics. Her cloak is going to be one of these two red fabrics, I haven't decided yet. And for her top I will use this crimped piece of fabric I found in secondhand store. I will do a very simple top of that, and her skirt will be out of this. Everything I use here are from secondhand shops or flea markets and things like that. So yeah, some of these vintage fabrics. As you see, I will use this with the floral pattern on the outside, and I will use this lace on the edges, and I will use some pleather for her corset, and also this beautiful ribbon. And I will use this ribbon for the cloak. So now I taken parts of this reused ruffles for maybe a curtain or something, and I took one piece and wrapped around her waist and did some stitching here and here, and then I put some buttons the waist, and then I took the same and made some very simple arms and stitched them by hand, and I did some little gathering on top here. And this garment is I did it purposely kind of simple because it's going to be under everything, so you will barely see it, but yeah, this is how I started. Now I'm finished with the skirt, and I am going to show you piece by piece what I did, because my sewing machine is in another room than my camera, so yeah, I don't know. So this top part is a separate piece. It was a long square piece that I just fray checked all the edges and sew it together, and put a lace on the bottom, and inside I put this elastic band that you just pull through with a safety pin. And the skirt under that, there is also elastic band in the waist, and as you see I have lace on top and this cotton fabric under, and under that I have some more lace, and they are all stitched together. And it's the same technique as the upper part. It's kind of a long square piece that I just gathered together in the waist. Much elastic. So the next part will be making her buttons on the skirt, and now I am going to make her corset. So yeah, now I finished the corset. I took some fake leather and I put these little hooks. I was deciding between putting like ribbon like a regular corset, but I decided that these hooks actually look better, look pretty cool. I think they match this traditional outfit. And then I actually glued on, because you don't want to stitch in pleather too much, so I glued on this beautiful ribbon to simulate like a traditional corset, German corset. And I actually looked at some reference pictures, traditional German clothing, and yeah, I know it's not like perfect exactly, but I think it's pretty close. I'm very happy with it. I think it looks really nice. So I looked at some cloak patterns on Pinterest, and they didn't have measurements, so I kind of just measured with the doll size to see where the shoulder down to the feet, and just cut out the hood and the cloak itself on double folded fabric, and then just put the needles where you are going to sew. So first I will sew these parts together and fray check along the seams and fold it in. So now the cloak is ready. As you see, I made a lining with this heart patterned fabric, and the lining is sewn exactly the same as the outside, and then you sew them together with the wrong side to each other, and then you just fold them inside out so you get the right side out. And now I'm going to glue these ribbons on because they are so thin that it won't look good if I stitch them. Glue, 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 glue. So now the cloak is done. And off camera I did these socks for her out of some elastic fabric. And these are the shoes that I will use because I don't want to make shoes from scratch this time. I will paint these instead. And now her outfit is basically done. So here are all of her parts. Very nice. So now we'll start with Little Red Riding Hood, and we'll start by cutting off this hair. Now all of her hair is cut off as close as I can to the scalp. Now we have to heat up the head in order to remove it. Now the head is soft enough. We can try to gently. No! I actually managed to get the peg back inside, and you don't want this to happen, but sometimes you're lucky and you can get it back, and hopefully it will stick with this. So now it's time to remove the hair from the inside. Look at the amount of gunk that was in her hair. Chunks of glue. Now she is ready for taking off her face. So you need 100% acetone. So now the face is clear, and sprayed it with Mr. Super Clear, and we are going to use this chestnut colored brown, and I am going to paint the scalp with some brown acrylic colors. So, and then you just let that dry, and then we can start the rehairing process. So now I'm going to start with the rerooting. I've made this rerooting tool, and you just take a little hair. And now the reroot is done. I put some fabric glue in the head and swoosh it around. And now we have to let that dry, totally dry. And my little gluing seems to have worked here. So now let's sand the body. When I'm done sanding with the smallest sanding papers, I finish with a nail buffer, and then I take a wet wipe and just wipe off that dust from the body. You can wash it under running water and soap, doesn't matter, but yeah, I'm too lazy and I just like to stay in one place. So, and now she is ready for the MSC. And now we'll start sketching out her face, and before you do this, make sure to cover all of that new hair. I took a old sock, and you see I just pinned it in her head with some needles. And yeah, I started drawing out the fine lines of the eyes, and then you just go in darker and darker. And I use these Faber-Castell soft pastels to make some shading and her eyeshadows and the blushing. And you see I just go over layer after layer until I'm happy. And I chose this really red makeup for her because, yeah, she's Little Red Riding Hood. And I am also going to make her iris red. I really don't want her to look too girly, like little girly, and too nice. I want her to look kind of like a vixen or like a grown, independent woman. And now I start shading her body as well, and the same thing here, you have to do a couple of layers of Mr. Super Clear. I don't do something special here, I just use some pinks and reds to make her body look more natural. And then you just seal that with one more layer of Mr. Super Clear. And now I'm just continuing doing some layers to her face. Filling in the eyebrows with some black lines. And also around the eyes where I want more black. Doing some highlights with the white, filling in the irises. And you always want to start with the lighter colors and finish with the black because it's very hard to undo if you draw directly with black. And as you see, this time I actually use gouache paint for the whites and the eyes, and also for her eyelashes. I feel that gouache paint is much easier to work with than acrylics. And I just do some highlights on the eyelashes. I'm so sorry, I totally forgot to film when I did the catch light and the details in the eyes. So you see, I kind of was inspired by anime and manga for the catch light. And as a punishment for myself, I will film when I try to glue on the real eyelashes. And this is the part I hate the most of everything because it's so hard, but we'll try. I'm gonna do an experiment. It will probably not work, but let's try because there already is some type of glue on this, and yeah, thanks. Right, and I'm thinking, what if I just add the glue while they're sitting like this with something, maybe a little brush. Where with this? Wish me luck. Guys, I don't know, but I think it actually worked. It might actually work. If it works, this is revolutionary for me because I don't know, the struggle with the lashes, otherwise I hate it. I'm not gonna fiddle with this because then I'll ruin it. So now we're just gonna leave that alone. So guys, that actually worked. So yeah, that's a pro tip for you, to use human eyelashes that, you know, has this stickiness to them and just put them on there and put the glue on afterwards. Now I have put on some gloss on the lips and some iridescent shimmer to the eyes. That's the first time I've done that, so hopefully that would look good. Now I will put on some gloss. One more layer on the lips and on the eyes. I use this. And as it dries, this milkiness will of course disappear. Yeah, I usually put on like 2 or 3 layers at least on the eyes, but let them dry in between. And yeah, when I put on the last layer of gloss, her face is finished. So, as suspected, and I don't know why I just didn't understand, I don't know. Let's blame it on late night brain. The iridescent shimmer, of course, made the iris all milky and it just looked awful. So I redid the whole eye off camera because you already seen it. So, but actually I think the eyes turned out even better the second time around. So let's maybe ruin them one more time by adding a little bit of glitter, because I just can't help myself. I think that turned out really nice. Now let's put on the gloss. And I have to gloss her lips again because, you know, I sprayed her face with Mr. Super Clear a couple of times, so the gloss is gone. Now we just wait for it to dry. So now the face is done and the clear varnish has dried. So it's time to style her hair. So just take out all the pins. Thinking about using this for earrings maybe. Damn it! So I have parted the hair in advance so I know where the bangs will be and where the parting of the hair will be. So my plan is to pour some hot water so it won't stand right. So yeah, be right back. Why are you like this? The head is on the body. And I noticed her face got shiny when I poured the hot water on. This is not what I wanted, so I don't know, maybe I should some Mr. Super Clear on there. It's very shiny. I'll try that. So guys, I fixed her face. This is what I did. I put on a thin layer of dry pastels where I don't want to shine. And one more layer of Mr. Super Clear. And then I had to, of course, reshine the eyes and lips. So now I'm happy. She looks good. And I put these needles to kind of set her bangs a little. So these I will leave there at least overnight. And now I can move on with my life. I found these boots that I really like. I want a different color to them. So let's do that. So I'm gonna start with painting the sole. Yeah, I spray them with Mr. Super Clear. because otherwise the paint won't stick. And now we'll paint the brown. Now I will paint this part red because I think it's like fabric. I will see when it dries if it needs more layers, because maybe it will look good when it's not completely opaque. So for the actual wolf, in this case, I was searching for different toy wolves that I could maybe redo. I found this two-headed thing, but I realized that for the scale it's still too small. I wanted a bigger one, so I thought maybe I can sculpt one out of wire and some clay. I took this aluminium wire and just made a rough shape for about how big I want the wolf to be, and I think yeah, about the waist. And I thought, yeah, and then I just sculpted on this Cernit doll modeling clay on the head and the paws, but then I realized that it has to be cured in the oven, and then the hot glue will melt. So back to epoxy sculpt. Again. And I will put a base of aluminum foil first. I don't want this wolf to be very natural looking. I don't know. Not cartoony, but evil looking. So kind of a rough shape like that. This just so you don't have to use so much epoxy and it won't be so heavy, the head, because you know the body won't be heavy at all. Yeah, something like that. I want him to be kind of hunched. So now I am quite happy with the face. We'll see if I need sanding it later. But I think it's kind of suitable for a bad guy to be a little bit rough. But we'll see. And this, I was thinking about how to make the claws, and I am very proud of myself for doing this, for coming up with this. I used these little hair clips that was already broken. They did really look like claws, so I just put them in. Break them off like that. What are the odds that I can make perfect size and everything? Push them in. And if they would fall out, you can just glue them back later. Just fix those little toes. I think they really look like dog claws. Nothing happened. So yummy. So yeah, airbrushing works and all, but I realized it takes too long to get this covering opaque white color, so I continued painting with a brush. Maybe one more layer before I start putting on the body and the fur. Well, what an interesting choice of color for this very bad wolf. I'm just joking, guys. This is the filler material for the body. He will not be pink. And you go on like this, and maybe you want to add some filling somewhere, like on this leg, maybe, and then just, I have no idea if this is going to be good or bad. It is an experiment. I mean, this is going to be a skinny wolf because he's starving. I mean, oh my god, guys, I don't know what I'm doing, but this looks really good. I just glue that on, you know, and keep going. See where it takes me. I think it looks awesome. Look. And I will just continue to drape legs. Maybe I have to add a bit later, but you know, that's okay. Because you see, this will be too short to add a bit, but that's fine. Maybe I have an idea. Maybe I have to cut this part off and then just go around the belly. Yeah, maybe that is better. Go around. Yeah, I think that will be the best, to just do the legs separately. This turned out so much better than I expected. I feel like this crazy mad scientist who is just, wow, I created this. He's so big he doesn't even fit. And you can move him, you can move his legs. Now just to figure out the colors. Yeah, he can lie like this, you know, just chillaxing. But I look like a mess. Look at this. I airbrushed the body with some browns and black acrylics, and then I just finished the face with the acrylics to his teeth and eyes. And then he will be finished. Yeah, and I also put some gloss on the eyes and teeth when I'm done. I paint this basket in darker colors, and then I put some glossy varnish on it, and I finish it up later with some fabric. And I had to Google what is Little Red Riding Hood actually carrying to her grandmother, and I found that she brings her wine and cake. And I thought, wow, what a party grandmother is gonna have with wine and cake. But it's not like a birthday cake. I had to ask a German friend of mine, and she said it's more like a sponge cake. You know, still an odd combination with wine and sponge cake, but yeah, whatever rocks your boat, I guess. So I bought some finished bottles and a sponge cake for her basket to carry. And with that, I think we are ready for the final pictures of her. So enjoy those, and thank you for watching.
Oh my god, a wolf!
I need your wine, your cake, and your life.
I don't think so, mister. No. Ja, thank you for watching. Auf Wiedersehen.